Earlier this week, Attorney General...
Most kindly, as we say down around the bayou, this here Attorney General got some splaining to do.
Yes, and she will. Welcome back, Madam Attorney General.
What's up, nerds? Furious to be here.
Do you affirm the testimony you are about to give before this committee will be the truth, the whole truth, and nothing but the truth, so help you God?
No.
Thank you. Would you like to make an opening statement?
Yes, I would. My name is Pam Bondi. I spell it with an I, because I ain't gonna answer any of your questions. My time is valuable. The DOJ has many ongoing operations, and we're moving like Kash Patel's eyeballs very quickly in multiple directions at once.
Very good, ma'am. The chair recognizes Senator Blumenthal.
Madam Attorney General, did President Trump direct you to prosecute his political opponents?
Before I don't answer, I'd like to insult you personally. Senator Blumenthal, look at this honky. Even people in Connecticut go, damn, that guy's white as hell.
Okay.
That's just one of the many roast-style burns that I have here on this paper. Don't make me use them.
I'll ask again, did the president direct you to indict James Comey?
I'm not going to discuss my private conversations with the president. I'm not telling you who said what, or who fell asleep in the middle of a sentence, or who kept calling me Ivanka while patting his lap.
The chair recognizes Senator Whitehouse.
Good, because you know what I want to talk about? Jeffrey Epstein. Really thought more senators were going to clap. Anyway, did the FBI find photos of the President Trump with half-naked young women when they raided Mr. Epstein's property?
Sir, I'm not even going to dignify that question with a lie.
Chair recognizes Senator Kennedy.
Ooh-wee. Okay, now, you said you got a list of this Epstein fella's pervert friends on your desk. So I believe it's your job to tell us who's in there on that list down there you got on your desk.
I tried reading the Epstein files, but I got really bored. It's so repetitive. Trump this, Trump that, yawn.
Moving on, the chair recognizes Ranking Member Dick Durbin.
Yeah, I recognize Dick Durbin. His name sounds like something Diddy got arrested for. That's from my burn book. And while we're at it, Amy Klobuchar, your ass out here sounding like a Pokemon. I choose you, Klobuchar. You got me.
I'm gonna ask my question now. How can the president justify deploying troops against American citizens?
Ow! Did you see that? He pushed me.
I did not.
And he just called me a bitch.
No, I didn't. Now, why is the president sending troops to my home state?
To protect your people. And I wish you loved Chicago as much as you hate President Trump.
How long you been working on that line?
3 full months.
You say that the troops are there to protect ICE facilities, but why is ICE there in the first place?
I don't know. You'll have to ask Homeland Security Director Kristi Noem.
Well, she isn't here.
What if she is, though? Hold my gun. That's right, it's me, Kristi Noem. I spell my name with an I because that's how I thought it was spelled. And I'm the rarest type of person in Washington, D.C., a brunette that Donald Trump listens to. I'm here to tell you that this Democrat government shutdown needs to end now.
Well, the Democrats are even more eager to end this shutdown than our Republican colleagues.
Ha! That makes me laugh more than the end of Old Yeller.
When the dog gets shot?
Dogs don't just get shot. Heroes shoot them. Speaking of heroes, our government agents are working without pay. Luckily, my boys at ICE don't mind. They're in it for the love of the game. And how did I find them? By running ads like this. Do you need a job now?
Yeah.
Are you a big tough guy?
Yeah.
Tough enough for the army or police?
No.
But do you take supplements that you bought at a gas station?
Daily.
Do you like to use zip ties because people in your life don't trust you with keys?
You know it.
Then buckle up and slap on some Oakley's, big boy. Welcome to ICE.
Does that answer your question?
No, not even a little bit.
Then our work here is done. And live from New York!
This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa through the police body cams. Judge Carol Weimer, you are under the microscope. Now, we're so busy with the Mustafa Al-Jazari file. We're so busy with local issues that we're missing out on what is going on the national level. And sometimes it's really difficult to make sense of what is really going on and what's coming out of the White House. I mean, you've got the National Guard deployed into D.C., you've got President Trump trying to deploy the National Guard everywhere else. And sometimes it's really difficult making sense of what is really going on. We just watched SNL make fun at the Attorney General, Pam Bondi. Pam Bondi was asked about the Epstein list and the release of the Epstein list. And I'll tell you, it makes you really angry watching our Attorney General turn the whole entire session into a joke. I mean, she didn't answer one single question. And the question is, why are they not releasing the Epstein list? I mean, I thought that's why we got President Trump into office, that we didn't like Biden, didn't like the Democrat, and Trump is here to get to the bottom of the deep state. What is the Epstein list? Who's on the Epstein list? I mean, the bottom line is, the reason they're not releasing the Epstein list is you have the Democrats and the Republican on the list. And the problem here, when you're talking about our government is being funded by a foreign country, that's a problem. Because you're talking about our government officials no longer making decisions for our country. They're making decisions on behalf of other countries. That's why the Epstein list should be released. That's why they're attempting to avoid the release of the Epstein list. Because what you find is that our government is being funded by a foreign entity. And what you see around the country is nothing more than a deflection. Anything but the Epstein list. They want to talk about ICE. They're talking about the National Guard, releasing the National Guard into D.C., releasing the National Guard into other states. They're causing chaos. And they want everybody so distracted that you're not even asking about the Epstein list anymore. I watched a reporter ask Caroline, our White House speaker, and she's telling her that President Trump interpretation and what he's talking about with Portland is completely inaccurate. I mean, he's talking about chaos. He's talking about deploying the National Guard, that there is and he's describing it as a war zone. And then Caroline Lovett tells her, you should go there and then ask me about Portland. As a matter of fact, what we're going to do, we're going to have honest reporter that were actually there and they're going to tell us what they saw. Let's play a clip of what that reporter asked the White House speaker.
President Trump will end.
A federal judge over the week.
President Trump.
I spoke to the police chief of Portland last week. He said that the president's claims just don't match up with what's happening on the ground.
I would encourage you as a reporter to go on the ground and to take a look at it for yourself, because there's been many members of the press, not press in this room, but independent journalists, some of whom we'll be inviting to the White House very soon to share their stories, because they have been in the middle of these riots and they have witnessed the anarchy that is taking place night after night. It's on video. You should play it on your show. You have a great opportunity on prime time on CNN to show your audience. Yeah, but you're probably talking to partisan Democrat officials who are opposed to everything this president does. You should also ask the people who live in Portland. We've actually heard from many members of the community who have said that this is complete civil disobedience. It's a mess. It's been loud. It's been troubling for neighbors in the community who are just trying to live peacefully. And these people are not there to peacefully protest. They are there to cause mayhem and havoc.
So after this, what the White House did, they held a press conference and they brought in these individuals that are so-called reporters. And supposedly they went into Portland and they are going to tell us what is really going on in Portland. I mean, we're going to watch that press conference, and what's coming out of that press conference is disturbing. I mean, you can't tell me you're going to watch that press conference and not tell me they're making a joke out of the whole entire thing. I mean, they're flat out lying to everybody. There is one reporter would tell President Trump, I was there. I was attacked. They gave me a black eye. I chased after. I called the police. She said, I called the police. And I mean, she's 5 feet tall, about 100 pounds. And she said that someone attacked her. And specifically, she says someone, Mr. President, from Antifa, a terrorist organization, Mr. President, attacked me, gave me a black eye. I called the police, but those police officers are different kind of police officers. They're bad police officers. They didn't show up. So what I did, I chased after them. The person that attacked me, I chased after them. I held them down for 35 minutes. You're talking about a 5 feet, like a small lady, 5 feet tall, about 100 pounds, that she supposedly chased after someone that gave her a black eye. And then she called the police again. And she held her down for 35 minutes. Called the police. They still didn't show up. And then she says 20 Antifa members showed up to free her assailant. And then she went and stalked them and found out where they're coming from. And she said, Mr. President, they're coming from a warehouse and they're taking shifts. These are not protesters. They're Antifa members. I mean, lady, if you're going to lie to us, I mean, make it believable. You're about 5 feet tall, about 100 pounds, and supposedly you chased after someone that attacked you, gave you a black eye. What are we talking about? I mean, let's watch.
I spoke to the police chief of Portland.
Let's see, black eye reporter. I think that's, if we type that, that's going to come up. Black eye Reporter, Portland.
Today, I am sitting here with a black eye and a concussion after being violently.
We gotta watch this again. Today, she said, "Today I'm sitting here with a cock eye." Okay, listen.
Today, I am sitting here with a black eye and a concussion after being violently hit in the face with a metal pole while reporting outside the ICE facility just this past week. After the attack, I immediately went to three Portland police officers who refused to detain the suspect. I took the time to chase.
They refused to detain the suspect because in Portland, those police officers are not your average police officer. They're bad police officer, Mr. President.
Down the suspect in the streets, had her held for 35 minutes.
You're 5 feet tall, about 100 pounds. You held the person that gave you a black eye for 35 minutes. I'm really having a hard time believing that, but let's keep listening.
I was waiting for Portland police to come, and they never came. Then
they never came because they're bad police officer, Mr. President. We need you to deploy the National Guard to make sure those police officers do their job. What kind of bullshit is this?
That's what opened to my eyes to what
How could you open your eyes if you have a black eye?
Group is actually doing. I watched 20 Antifa militants.
Just don't open your eyes.
Help my assault suspect.
20 Antifa members helped the person that gave her a black eye. Okay, here's the thing. Isn't she a reporter? She says that she's a reporter. Where is the video from that incident? Doesn't exist.
Into an Antifa safe house that is 1 block away from the ICE facility.
An Antifa safe house.
And this safe house is where Antifa-affiliated protesters are conducting paramilitary operation.
Para-elementary operation? You mean paramilitary operation?
It's where they're arresting, they're showering, they're eating to continue this occupation. I have staked out this safe house and have observed shift changes. This group is highly organized. It is being funded through mutual aid groups, and they have no plans of stopping. Residents living across the ICE facility have been held hostage by Antifa. They're begging for federal intervention. The city refuses to help, and they want you, President Trump, to come in and restore law and order. Today, They
want you, Mr. President, to deploy the National Guard into Portland. And then when you listen to the rest of the press conference, you have another reporter that says, Mr. President, we found out who Antifa were. Antifa is the homeless community. What are you talking about? So now you're calling the homeless community, our vulnerable homeless community, Antifa? So you're just got a label, stuck it on a bunch of people, and now you want to go and do what exactly? Oh, you designated Antifa as a terrorist organization? What does that mean? Any protester, you're going to stick a label on them that if you don't agree with what they're protesting, you're going to call them terrorists? So what does that mean? The Patriot Act applies to them, so no due process. No one so they're no longer. You're no longer dealing with them as American citizen. So no due process. You can pretty much make them disappear. Interesting. So first, you start off with the illegals, and you say we can't have due process because they're illegals. And you mechanize ICE. You give it a budget of $150 billion. And to go in our community and just on the pretense that they're all criminals. You want to say they're all criminals. Interesting. And now you moved up from illegals to anybody that's on the left that doesn't agree with you. You're going to call them what? Antifa? And then what's next? You're going to come after the conservative groups? Who's to say that you're not going to do that? You're going to come after everybody in their right. So anybody that pretty much asks you, where's the Epstein list? Anybody that asks this administration for the Epstein list, they're going to put a label on them. and they're going to tell them, you're a terrorist, and we're going to make you disappear. And if you protest, we're going to make you disappear. Interesting. And they have this joke of a conference. They bring in these random people, and they want to tell us that we need the National Guard into Portland. We need the National Guard into Chicago. The same thing you did in D.C., we need to do it everywhere. Let's just have martial law while you're at it.
Sitting here with a black eye and a concussion.
What I find really funny is when President Trump was making the point to deploy the military National Guard into D.C., they held a press conference and they wanted to say that the reason that we're deploying the National Guard is because
after being violently hit in
is because of crime. Crime is so high that we have to deploy the National Guard into D.C. Interesting. But what I find really interesting in that press conference, our FBI director, Kash Patel, comes out and he says something completely different to what President Trump is telling us. He says crime has never been lower. And, I mean, there's a video. Let's see if I can find the video. Kash Patel talk about crime low in D.C. You have President Trump just look at
Kash
him.
Patel says he's shutting...
The simple answer and the murder...
I don't think you're...
As I... You know, if Pam didn't... No...
The cover of this... I want to talk about...
Remembering your oath to you're the first.
Gonna start.
You're the first. Did you ever?
Scared, I said it was.
Arguably the most part...
Welcome.
You just take
No wonder Trump was so angry with FBI Director Kash Patel. No one realized that Kash Patel's behavior completely angered.
Some clown posted a...
Let me see if I can find the video. You have President Trump look at Kash Patel, angry, as if Kash Patel didn't get the memo. I mean, you have President Trump come out and say that crime is so high that we have to deploy the National Guard. And then what they're doing is they're using that as a pretext into deploying the National Guard to distract everybody from asking for the Epstein list. Let's see if I can find that video.
White House Press Secretary...
And the murder rates are plummeting. We are now able to report that the murder rate is on track to be the lowest in U.S. history.
Look at the look on President Trump. He's so angry. He's like, what are you talking about? We're trying to deploy the National Guard, and you're telling everybody that crime is low? I'm telling everybody crime is... I'm telling everybody crime is high, and you're telling everybody crime is at its lowest?
In modern recorded U.S. history, thanks to this team behind me and President Trump's priorities, and the murder rates are plummeting, we are now able to...
This is just crazy. And this is when you know they're just bullshitting our country, and they're just coming up with all these narratives just to distract everybody. You know what I find really disturbing is what's coming out of the White House is that the reason that they're mechanizing ICE, the reason that they're giving ICE a $150 billion budget is because Biden opened the borders. And he let 17 illegals into this country. And they want to say that they're all criminals. And now they want to fix it. Well, hold on now. So you're telling me the government broke it and now the government has a solution? That's bullshit. That's interesting. I mean, look, the conversation is everybody agrees, we're all on the same page, that we should have a strong border. But to tell me that the people that are already here, even if they are illegals, no one is telling you that if they're criminals, send them home. But you have to give them due process. When you're arresting these illegals, I have to know, and you have to know, there has to be transparency. Otherwise, the government can arrest anybody and say they're a criminal. They want to tell you that we don't have time to process and have due process. What the fuck are you talking about? You and I could be arrested tomorrow, and they can give that same excuse. There is no time for due process. Then how do you know I'm guilty? If they really cared about fixing the immigration problem, I mean, look, they say 17 million are already here. Then secure the border, but they're already here. If they're not criminals, then you should find a way to give them legal status. If you're finding criminals, then give them due process, process them, and hold them accountable. They have to be held accountable. Whether you're deporting them, whether you're putting them in jail, if they're criminal, we have to hold them accountable. But you're talking about hard-working, a dad, a mom, kids, hard-working families that are already here, that the government opened the border and brought them in. And what we're watching on TV is horrifying. You're just going around arresting people and making them disappear. I mean, it sure sounds like we're a third world country. I mean, we talk about Russia, we talk about China, and we're doing worse than third world countries. People with no badge, wearing masks, show up in vans, make you disappear, no due process. That's a third world country. We should do better as a fucking country. And if we want to fix the immigration problem, the people that are already here, we should find a way to give them legal status. We brought them in. The government brought them in. I don't care if it's Trump, Biden, the government brought them in. And now they're protected. A lot of people want to say, oh, they're not, our Constitution doesn't protect illegals. Absolutely it does. If you're here, it protects you. But all this is a distraction from, is our government working for us, or is it paid and bought by a foreign entity? And that's why they don't want you to have the Epstein list.
To report that the murder rate...
I find it interesting that our White House is talking about that Portland is a war zone. But when you actually look up what is going on in Portland, this is what you find.
This is how we do it.
Network event.
These are the protesters that they tell you are so dangerous that we should send the National Guard to.
I got broads in Atlanta. Just to the lean the family. Sorry.
What started with one person in an inflatable frog costume has now become a full-blown protester trend. The so-called Portland Frog appeared during nightly protests outside the city's Immigration and Customs Enforcement building, and demonstrations have continued for months. In a viral video, footage shows ICE agents pepper spraying the frog through their inflatable costume. Political commentators...
Why would you pepper spray a dinosaur? I mean, look at what he just did.
Frog through their
I mean, that's where that little dinosaur breathed from, and he's pepper spraying. Why? I mean, why would you do that?
Costume.
Are you antagonize them so they can... do you want them to give violence? It sure sounds like you're antagonizing the protesters that are protesting your immigration policies so you can deploy the National Guard.
Commentator.
Hey there, we're here at the front line of the facility. As you can see, there's this is a war zone. We have a
my favorite is Kristi Noem watching the protester with the chicken suit. See if I can find that video.
Kristi Noem braved war-torn.
This is Kristi Noem with Homeland Security. She's on the roof watching Portland protesters. And what you find interesting is they are recording. This is their recording. The question I ask myself is, who are they recording this for? We're going to keep asking this question because I really like an answer. Because I'm watching other videos where ICE agents are committing atrocities on individuals that are peaceful, but then they're the one recording. Who are they recording for? I mean, they're committing crimes and they're recording it. Who are they recording for? We're going to keep asking that question. And if you are joining this conversation, put that in the comment. Leave me a comment. Let me know, who are they recording for? I mean, I've seen this, and when you're talking about third world countries and they're committing a crime against their own people, but then the videos later come out and they were recording and documenting all of it. And the question is, who are they recording for? We're going to keep asking this question throughout this segment. And if you can join the conversation, leave me a comment. Let me know what you think. This is Homeland Security watching protesters, and they're recording. In other videos, they're also recording. Let's keep going. I mean, looks peaceful to me. They're peaceful protesters. Matter of fact, one of them is in a chicken suit. Come down here and got a chicken sandwich for you. They're telling Kristi Noem they got a chicken sandwich for her. I think she's worried about her weight. She has all these kind of surgeries, cosmetic surgeries, and she's got Botox, and they're telling her, come down here, I got a chicken sandwich for you. The person in the chicken suit is telling her, come down here, I got a chicken sandwich for you. I thought our Secretary of War, Hexit, says no fat military. I mean, is this an ICE agent? Is he in the military? I think that's an ICE agent. Where's Hexit from this fat person?
Secretary, do you have a message to the protesters, especially the man in the chicken outfit?
Man in the chicken outfit? I just see him now. Goodness sakes. We could do better. Our goal is that people would peacefully protest, but that we would still be allowed to enforce the law in this country. So it's too bad they're uneducated and ill-informed.
I mean, does that lady even have a brain? You're talking about Portland being uneducated. I mean, you just insulted everybody in Portland. Why are they uneducated? Because they don't agree with you? I mean, it sure sounds like you're any dictator around the world. Any dictator that doesn't agree with his people is going to call them uneducated. And to you, anybody that disagrees with you is uneducated. I mean, this is really sad. This is the same lady that said that she not only shot her dog in the face, she wrote a book. And if she can shoot her dog in the face, she can shoot you in the face.
Yeah, good. It's good to see. We'll see what we can do to get you back.
Secretary of War Hexa. What is he doing in uniform if he's fat as fuck? Is he not fat? Didn't you call all the generals and held a whole entire speech about fat people in the military? What is he? I mean, what the fuck is he doing?
This is absolutely nothing as to what it is at night, though.
No,
It sure sounds, going into the Secretary of War and the meeting he held for all the generals. I mean, watching that conference, all I can think of is they're attempting to get rid of certain individuals that if you disagree with them, if you disagree with the government, they're going to find a reason to exit you out, even if you're a 5-star general. Or they're going to tell you you're too fat. You can't do push-ups. Or is it really because you disagree with them? There is a disturbing video that's coming out of Portland where ICE agents tackle a peaceful protester and just simply drag him into a building. And then you find that they're recording it. They're the one recording the whole incident. I mean, on video, that person is holding a sign, gets tackled, and is dragged into a building. What happened to peacefully protesting? I mean, are we already there? Is this already a third world country that you can't even protest? Let's watch that video. And the question I ask, and we're going to keep asking, who are they recording for? I mean, clearly they're committing a crime, and they're recording it. Clearly, you see this guy is kneeling on the floor. He's kneeling. He's holding a sign. He's kneeling. He's not harming anybody. He's not bothering anybody. He's protesting. He's peacefully protesting. Agents tackle him and then drag him into a building. You can clearly see that he's not doing anything. You see that guy that's recording behind him? They're recording them committing a crime against a peaceful protester. Who are they recording for? And they're going to make this person disappear because they're calling this peaceful protester Antifa. President Trump already declared Antifa a terrorist organization. So you no longer is being handled as an American citizen. The Patriot Act will apply to you, or whatever version they got of the Patriot Act. No due process. No one can find out what your crime is. And they just make you disappear. This is what they do in third world countries. And we're doing it here. We're not talking about illegals anymore. We're talking about American citizens. That if they want, they can put a label on you as Antifa. And turn your peaceful protest into a terrorist. And that you're a terrorist now. And they're recording it. I mean, I'm so confused. Didn't we go into Iraq and other countries on the pretext that they have dictators there doing this? I'm going to look up a video that I remember. This video was used as a pretext to go into Iraq. They told you that Saddam was a dictator, that he abused and violated his people. Let's see if I can find it. Saddam, torture, Iraqis. I found it. Now, what's interesting in this video is that the Iraqi government goes out, captures people, put a label on them, and say that these people are terrorists. And that's what they're doing here. And then they take them into places. And then they torture them. And they're recording it. The Iraqi government is recording the Iraqi government commit atrocities against its own people, and they're recording it. And I go back to the question that I asked. When you have these ICE agents arrest, beat, they're the one recording it. Who are they recording it for? Who are those Iraqis we're recording it for? Let's watch the video. You see an Iraqi get beaten up by an Iraqi personnel in the government. Of course, they got this person designated. They just put a label on them. Call them terrorists. Pick up people off the street. Call them terrorists. Make an example out of them. Torture them under the pretext that they're terrorists. And they're recording it. The terrifying part is they're recording them commit crimes against their own people. These recordings are them recording it. Who are they recording it for? And you have the person scream in Arabic, please stop, please stop. I mean, he's screaming. I mean, how is this different from, by the way, if they have no problem doing this in front of everybody, if ICE agents have no problem doing this in front of everybody, what do you think happened when they took him into the warehouse? They already put a label that you're Antifa. You're no longer considered an American citizen. The rules don't apply to you anymore. No one can find out what your crime is. The Patriot Act or whatever version of the Patriot Act will apply to you. You're a peaceful protester. I mean, today, people in Portland are protesting immigration policies. Tomorrow, you're going to protest the Epstein list. And they're going to call you and put a label on you that you're a terrorist. They're going to tell you today the left is being called Antifa. Tomorrow, they're going to tell you that you're another version of a terrorist organization. What? They're going to tell you conservative groups. Put a label. No one can verify whether you are a terrorist or not. They just put a label on you.
Oh yeah, shove it down. Fuck you, man. Quick shove it. Oh yeah, shove it down. Fuck you, man. Quick shove it. You're punching. See, I saw you punching. Leave that alone. Fuck you, man.
And of course, the person that's following behind those agents that just tackled a peaceful protester, took him into a warehouse only to make him disappear under the label that he is Antifa, a terrorist, is recording. They're recording their crimes the same way the Iraqi government was recording their crimes. Who are they recording for? Are they recording to the same entity that doesn't want the Epstein list to be released? The same foreign entity that hijacked our country, funding our government officials, putting them on this list, blackmailing them on both aisles. If you're paying attention, both the Republican and the Democrat voted against the release of the Epstein file. I think it's clear and it's obvious to a lot of people that are paying attention that our government has been hijacked for a long time and is no longer making decisions on our behalf instead of behalf of other countries. And people are waking up to a reality that, hey, we should know if our government is really working for us. Let's shift gears. I have a specific conversation about the Mustafa Al-Jazari file, and what I found is disturbing. Now, if you've been tracking the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, the Commonwealth Attorney, Amy Ashworth, sealed off the Mustafa Al-Jazari file. What that means, you can no longer put in a FOIA, Freedom of Information Act, to verify what she's telling you. You can't FOIA request any document. You can't FOIA request any body cam. You can't FOIA request the dash camera that's in Mustafa's vehicle. There's a dash camera. Now, since I've managed to gain access into the police department server, evidence.com, and I stole the files. So, and I'm leaking them on the internet. So we can verify and get to the bottom of what is going on in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. I have the body cams, all the body cams in the server. I have the documents. I have the dash camera. Anything in evidence.com that's been uploaded into Mustafa's file on the server, I have it. Now, what we're finding is there is a separate file that's have not been uploaded to the server. Any body cam, any document, any piece of evidence that's incriminating to the police in what they've done in this case is held in a separate file. In the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, what we're finding, and what's been filed already, Mustafa's defense attorney filed Brady violations, and it moved forward. Judge Carol Weimer, the presiding judge, approved those violations, the Brady violations. Mustafa's vehicle has been crushed and staged by the police department. The vehicle looks one way. Inside the police department, they took that vehicle, crushed it to make it look like something completely different. And what they've done is they removed the original Faro scan. A Faro scan is a scan of when you get in a vehicle accident, there's a machine that scans the vehicle and scans the other vehicle to show you where is the impact. How did the impact happen? So investigator Robert Drum, the same investigator that later falsified Mustafa's statements, scanned the vehicle, but that scan has been removed into a separate file. So for 2.5 years, that scan is not uploaded to the server. Mustafa's vehicle has been crushed and staged. And they want to tell you that the reason it was crushed is because they wanted to get the ACM, the computer inside the vehicle. Well, based on the pictures that we have, we see that they clearly had access to the ACM. The vehicle was not crushed in that they don't have access to the ACM. That's not a good enough reason. As a matter of fact, that's not a reason at all, because we have the picture. The ACM is under the shifter. You can pop the shifter and you unclip the ACM. You had access. So the question is, why did you crush that vehicle? So the vehicle has been crushed, staged. That Brady violation went through. The children has been weaponized. The children, Dorothy, Mustafa's girlfriend, has kids. A 9, a 10, a 14. Those kids have been weaponized against Mustafa. What does that mean? The children are supposed to be handled with a forensic unit. Mustafa was in a coma. Mustafa was helicoptered to the hospital. Now, the children were being weaponized by investigator Romero, fed a bunch of lies, lied to about Mustafa. Mustafa is a father figure in their life. Their father wasn't around. Mustafa is a father figure in their life. A 9, a 10, a 14. Now, Mustafa's in a coma and the children are being lied to about Mustafa. And we find out in the forensic interviews. In the forensic interviews, the children are talking about it. The police told us 1, 2, and 3, and 4. And one of them is 14-year-old Javen says the investigator Romero told him that Mustafa ran away, left his 5-year-old baby sister to bleed to death. And if it wasn't for Mustafa running away, the police could have saved their 5-year-old baby sister. Now, that's not true. Mustafa was in a coma. Mustafa was helicoptered to the hospital. But now you're talking about a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 14-year-old. The police lied to and then threw them in a forensic interview to weaponize them against Mustafa. Now, we have the Google Nest videos inside the apartment that Commonwealth Amy Ashworth is terrified from. That show it's a beautiful relationship. Mustafa loved his girlfriend. Mustafa loved the kids. It's a beautiful relationship. We have days on days of Google Nest videos inside the apartment. Now the prosecutor is terrified. Now Judge Carol Weimer approved that Brady that the children has been weaponized. The disturbing part about the children being weaponized is Mustafa's defense attorney, Brad Haywood, tells Judge Weimer that the children is being weaponized. The prosecutor immediately tells Judge Carol Weimer, Prosecutor Sara Sami, Your Honor, the children were not weaponized. And then Brad Haywood, he tells Judge Carol Weimer, Your Honor, I have evidence that the children have been weaponized. And one of them is the forensic interview. The children are talking about the police told them a bunch of lies. So Judge Carol Weimer tells Prosecutor Sara Sami, Are you aware of the communication? What Investigator Romero told the children, what the children told. She said, first she says, Your Honor, the only time that the children were spoken to is in the forensic interview. Now, Brad Haywood tells Judge Carol Weimer, that's not true, Your Honor. The children are talking about conversation before. Having conversation with the police, with Investigator Romero, before the forensic interview. The children are talking about it. I have other evidence that showed the police talked to the children before the forensic interview, weaponized the children. So the presiding judge, Carol Weimer, tells prosecutor, Are you aware of the conversation that took place? Immediately, Prosecutor Sara Sami doubles back and she says, Your Honor, I am not aware of any conversation that took place between the police and the children. So, Investigator Romero, if you're listening, sir, Robert Drum, Investigator Davis, Investigator Chad Mason, if you're listening, this prosecutor is already attempting to throw you under the bus. Is attempting to wash her hands from. But here's the problem for this prosecutor. I have the file that's in the server. Now, those body cams, when the children talk to Investigator Romero, those body cams have not been uploaded to the server. They're in a separate incriminating file. They do exist because when you talk to children as a child forensic unit, there has to be body cams. You're talking about a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 14, a 16. You're not going to talk to children without body cams, without documenting it. Now, I don't have those body cams. Those have not been released. Mustafa's defense attorney is demanding the release of those body cams and communication. I have other body cams that implicates the prosecutor that she does know of the communication. As a matter of fact, she's been notified every step of the way. Prosecutor Sara Sami lied to the presiding judge, Judge Carol Weimer. She told him, I have no idea of any communication. Well, I have a body cam. We're going to watch a body cam. It's Exhibit 47 and Exhibit 48. We'll watch those two body cams. That as soon as Investigator Davis, who's not with the forensic unit, is talking on the phone, he has a 16-year-old on speed dial. He gets off the phone. He calls the prosecutor. Prosecutor Sara Sami. So wait a minute. We have a prosecutor that's flat out lying to the presiding judge. Now, I have other body cams, and that's what we're also going to watch, is when Mustafa's vehicle was inspected. When Mustafa's vehicle was inspected, they found, Investigator Davis found brake failure. Immediately, notified the prosecutor. I have him on body cam notifying the prosecutor. Now, what communication took place between Investigator Davis and Prosecutor Sami? He's talking about notifying her. He's confirming that he notified her. So what conversation took place? Because Prosecutor Sara Sami, in a bond motion, told the judge that there was nothing wrong with Mustafa's car. Interesting. Well, I have a body cam that shows brake failure. I have a computer inside the vehicle that shows Mustafa's foot is on the brake the whole entire time. I have evidence that shows Mustafa cleared every vehicle, made it to the 4th lane, and the SUV turned into Mustafa. Mustafa did everything he can to avoid a vehicle accident. So what are the communication that you had with Investigator Davis? And why is the Pharaoh scan today is missing? So we're going to watch the body cam when Prosecutor Sami is being notified at the vehicle inspection. Okay, we're going to watch Prosecutor Sami get notified after Investigator Davis notifies her after they talk to the children. Okay. And then we're going to watch another body cam where when we finally hired an independent expert to reconstruct the vehicle accident, Investigator Robert Drum is telling the independent expert that he can't touch the vehicle. That Prosecutor Sara Sami instructed that the independent expert cannot touch the vehicle. And the question here is, how could you reconstruct a vehicle accident if you're not allowed to touch the vehicle? Now, that's defying a judge order. There is a judge order in place to reconstruct the vehicle. Mustafa's vehicle, the SUV, and the Pharaoh scan is missing. That's interesting. So you want the independent expert to rescan a crushed vehicle? Your computer is going to not, the scan is not going to read the impact. It's not going to be able to reconstruct. You need the original scan. Now, I have Investigator Davis. As soon as he found brake failure, he's talking about, I have an idea to employ into this case, but it's going to require spending money. At the time, we hired a lawyer that we found out later that he has a relationship with the investigator, Robert Drum, that's working for Robert Drum on body cam. They're working against Mustafa. And I remember at the time, that defense attorney, Casey Stevens, was telling us, it was his idea. He wanted us to hire an independent expert to reconstruct the accident. Now, I have a body cam. When he showed up, they're making a deal with the investigator, and Davis is right there, the one that's talking about, the one that says, I have an idea to employ into this case, but it's going to require spending money. They don't let the independent experts reconstruct the accident, touch the vehicle. They said, no, you can't touch the vehicle. And they're having him rescan the vehicle. So wait a minute. You delete the original. It's not deleted. It's there. It's in a separate file, and we're going to get that file. But you're having the independent expert rescan the vehicle? Now, the reason that's disturbing is because the police department crushed the vehicle specifically where Dorothy is at. They crushed Dorothy's portion of the vehicle. Now, Investigator Chad Mason, during a bond motion, took the stand and said, I'm an expert witness. And he testified that Mustafa, and this is their narrative. This is what they want to say. That Mustafa didn't clear every vehicle. That Mustafa maneuvered the vehicle to get his girlfriend side hit and 5-year-old Empress side hit. Now, wait a minute. When I'm watching these body cams, I'm watching one, Mustafa cleared all the vehicle, and he made it to the 4th lane. And the part that's impacted by the SUV turns into Mustafa, into the 4th lane, is the back quarter panel of the vehicle, not Dorothy's side. The SUV turned into the back of the vehicle. There's an indentation that you clearly see where the SUV turned into. But what they've done is they crushed Dorothy's side. And by the way, you don't have to take my word for it. I'm going to show you a body cam where Investigator Davis on body cam say that this is where we crushed the vehicle. It's problematic when you have that body cam because Chad Mason got on the stand and told Judge Carol Weimer that Mustafa's vehicle was crushed on Dorothy. The impact happened on Dorothy's side. That's not true. The police department crushed Dorothy's side. Let's watch a specific body cam where Investigator Davis, during a vehicle inspection, talk about what they've done to the vehicle. Now, I remind you, this is a sealed body cam. Commonwealth Amy Ashworth sealed this body cam from you. I happened to steal it. I happened to release it. Now we can get to the bottom of what is going on in the Mustafa Al-Jazari case. Now we get to ask questions. Is the government lying to us about Mustafa? We have body cams that they crushed and staged the vehicle. Let's watch this body cam.
We also,
this is Investigator Davis, and what you see here is Investigator Cruz, and they're talking to the police mechanic during a vehicle inspection.
the other thing too that I forgot to tell you, we put this could have taken this into account. The fire department cut the top off for us. They also rolled.
The fire department cut the vehicle for us, the police.
The steering wheel forward so we can get the box out. So they had...
The box that they're talking about is the ACM. Now, this is a problem because I have pictures, and we're going to go over these pictures, that you clearly had access to the box, to the ACM. So why would you cut the roof, chop up the vehicle, crush Dorothy's side? We're going to get to the bottom of it.
Their big hydraulic, they had their big hydraulic thing set up right, like where the B-pillar would be, pushing the front forward.
The hydraulic, the police had the fire department put their hydraulic at the B-pillar specifically, and he's going to point to where the B-pillar is, Dorothy's side, and completely crush Dorothy's side. Only for them to get on the stand later, Chad Mason to get on the stand later, and he says, this impact is because Mustafa didn't clear the SUV. He maneuvered the vehicle. And look, Your Honor, he crushed his girlfriend. You crushed that side. Only for you to seal off this video and testify to a lie.
So I guess that could that have caused the lengthening of the car per se? Absolutely. Okay. I actually didn't even think about that until just now. When they rolled out that forward, that would have pushed. Yeah, because they.
And what they also want to do is muddy up the water. Now, when Mustafa woke up out of a coma inside the hospital, Mustafa tells Chad Mason, I don't know what happened. There was something wrong with my car. Immediately, they go and crush the vehicle. And they crush it specifically where his girlfriend sits. So that they can say Mustafa didn't clear the vehicles. And so that anything that comes out of that vehicle, mechanical failure, as they can say, oh, we crushed it. What do you mean? How does that make any sense? Your job is to preserve the evidence. The most crucial piece of evidence in this whole entire case is the vehicle. And you crushed it? Only to muddy up the water? I mean, here they find major brake failure. Mustafa's vehicle would not stop. He's hitting the brake. The computer shows that he's hitting the brake, and the vehicle doesn't stop.
Yeah, because I'll show you what they did. They cut here on both of them, and then put their machine here.
Did you see that? You see where he's pointing? You see where he's pointing? That's Davis pointing to Dorothy's door. Dorothy's side, Mustafa's girlfriend's side. He said, we put the hydraulic, we had the fire department, put the hydraulic right here. That's Dorothy's side. You crushed Dorothy's side, only to come out and say that Mustafa never cleared the SUV.
Here, and then pushed the whole front forward to get this out of the way so that we could get the box out.
Okay, yeah, that would really well could have made the length long.
Yeah. What was that?
That's because of that.
Yeah, but that could have pushed all that. That could have made the length of the car longer, made that drivetrain fall out too. And it caused that to push forward also.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're going to watch that portion one more time where he's pointing at Dorothy's door. And then I'm going to show you pictures of the vehicle after the accident and pictures of the vehicle inside the police department. And we're going to ask the question, is Investigator Davis lying about crushing the vehicle to get to the ACM? Because I'm looking at pictures that they had access to the ACM. The vehicle was not crushed in. You had access to the ACM. But why did you crush it? You crushed it to stage the vehicle.
Yeah, sorry, I forgot to tell you that. Longer made that drive. Yeah, because I'll show you what they did. They cut here on both of them, and then put their machine here, and then pushed the whole front forward to get this out of the way so that we could get the box out.
Okay, yeah, that would really well could have made the length long.
Yeah. What was that?
That's because of that.
Yeah, but that could have pushed all that. That could have made the length of the car longer, made that drivetrain fall out too. Box out.
Okay, yeah, that would really well could have.
On both of them, and then put their machine here.
You see where he's pointing? I'm going to circle that part. You see where he's pointing? He's pointing right here. He's pointing on Dorothy's door, Dorothy's portion of the vehicle, the front passenger. They had the fire department put in a hydraulic to crush that apart. Now, the impact happened right here. This is the impact. You see that groove here? There's a groove. That's the SUV. Well, Mustafa cleared. You see? So, Davis is talking about here, that they put the hydraulic there. The impact is here. That's the impact. That's the SUV. Mustafa clear all the vehicle, makes it to the fourth lane. The SUV turns into Mustafa. There's a clear groove in the back portion of the vehicle. But the police department crushed his girlfriend's side, only to say the vehicle Mustafa never cleared. Now, Mustafa is being charged with murder. Evidence showed that he did everything he can to avoid the vehicles. That he avoided the vehicles. What they're doing here is they're destroying and manipulating the evidence to show that he never cleared the vehicle. Now, let's look at the picture of the vehicle. Now, you don't have to take my word for it. But like, there's no way the police department would lie about not having access to the ACM. I mean, Investigator Davis is saying that the reason we did this and that to the vehicle is because we wanted access to the vehicle. Well, explain to me, how does this make sense when this is the vehicle after the accident? The ACM, This is the vehicle. Okay? The ACM sits right here. Right there. Under the shifter. The ACM, the computer inside the vehicle, the box sits under the shifter. You pop it, there's a plastic piece, you pop it out, and you unclip that box. You unclip the ACM. Investigator Davis just got done telling us that the vehicle was crushed in, and that's why they had to cut the roof, put hydraulic on where Dorothy sits, the front passenger, roll the vehicle outwards, extend the vehicle, only to get that computer. What are we talking about? This is the vehicle after the accident at the scene, and we clearly have access to the ACM. Now, why is the police department doing this to him? This is the vehicle inside the police department, still intact. The roof is there. The roof is there. Okay. This is the vehicle inside the police department. The roof is still there. Okay. Clearly had access to the ACM. The ACM is right here. This is where the ACM is. It sits right there. Right there. You pop that plastic piece. Clearly, Investigator Davis is lying to us. He was telling us that the vehicle was crushed in, that they had to put a hydraulic on the passenger door, roll the vehicle forward, cut the roof to gain access to the box. We have access to the box. Now, why are they doing this to the vehicle? This is the fire department. Investigator Davis just got done telling us that we, the police, had the fire department put hydraulics. These are hydraulics or saws. Put hydraulics on Dorothy's front passenger door to roll the vehicle forward. Cut the roof. They're cutting the roof. They're actively cutting the roof. The question is why? If you have access to the ACM, why are you chopping up at the vehicle? Look at what they've done to the vehicle. The roof is gone. The roof is gone. Dorsey's side is crushed. They crushed it. And the original scan is nowhere to be found. It's not in the server. Because originally, they scanned the vehicle with a Pharaoh. A machine that scans Mustafa's vehicle at the scene. A machine that scans the SUV at the scene. And it tells you where the impact. So they remove that scan. And now they're crushing at the vehicle. And now when you bring in an independent expert, they want you to rescan the crushed vehicle to show that Dorothy's side was impacted. That Mustafa didn't clear the SUV. I mean, you're manipulating the evidence. You're destroying evidence. The police is destroying evidence. Why are you doing this to the vehicle? Look at what they've done. They completely crushed Dorothy's side. To what? Gain access to what? A box that, and this is Investigator Davis. Investigator Davis is always there. When he's talking to the children, when they're doing an inspection, when they're chopping up and staging the vehicle. Now I go back to, let's watch a video on how to extract ACMs. I think that's a good Chrysler ACM, Chrysler 300 ACM replacement. I think that's a good way so we can all be on the same page, right? Let's see. Chrysler, found it the other day. It's like a 2-minute video. Like literally 2 minutes and you'll get the ACM. think I saved it somewhere. Let's see. You got Prosecutor Sara Sami praying that I'm not going to find it. You got Investigator Davis praying that I'm not going to find it. I'm going to find it. There we go. There we go. Let's see. It's in here somewhere. Even if I can't find it, what I can do, I can always post it. And let's see. There we go. It's a 2-minute video. All right. Okay, so you pop the shifter and the ACM, the box, the computer is right there. You just unclip it. All right, that's the ACM. So why is Davis telling us that the police, they had the fire department put a hydraulic where Dorsey sits, Dorsey's side, and crush to roll the vehicle forward? What are we talking about? The vehicle wasn't crushed in. You had access to the ACM. Now, when you find out that this investigator is talking about pumping money into Mustafa's case. What are you talking about? You're telling me, what are you talking about? There's no way that an investigator is talking about pumping money into the Mustafa case. It's talking to another officer about, did you do anything inappropriate to Mustafa's car? Investigator Davis on body cam is heard telling Officer Rob, did you do anything inappropriate to Mustafa's car? And then immediately go into, I have an idea to employ into this case, but it's going to require spending money. You're going to put money out of your pocket into the Mustafa Al-Jazari case? Let's watch the body cam.
Okay. Did you do anything inappropriate to it?
This is Investigator Davis telling Officer Rob, did you do anything inappropriate to Mustafa's car? Now, this is during a vehicle inspection. They found brake failure. They found major mechanical failure in this vehicle. Mustafa did everything he can to avoid a vehicle accident, but they're finding there's something wrong with the car. The vehicle would not stop. Mustafa's foot was on the brake the whole entire time. You have officers talking about, did you do something to the car? Did you do anything inappropriate to the car? I have an idea to imply into this case. I mean, he's talking about he has an idea to imply into this case after he found brake failure. What are you going to do? Remove the original scan from the Faro scan? You're going to talk to Robert Drum, who has a relationship with Mustafa's defense attorney, Casey Stevens, that you're going to tell this family, let's hire an independent expert and have him rescan the car to show that Dorothy's side is crushed after exactly you crushing it? So you're going to remove the original scan that show it wasn't crushed. You're going to crush the vehicle, and then you're going to bring in an independent expert to rescan the car. Let's continue listening to Rob Davis tell officer... let's listen to Investigator Davis tell Officer Rob about implying and pumping money into Mustafa's case.
So again, nothing froze. Steering wheel is moving. What? I'm going to figure out that brake issue, and then I'm going to
figure out that brake issue. So they found brake failure. Now he's going to be talking about pumping money into Mustafa's case. Listen.
Then I'll be done. Hey, Rob, remind me to tell you I had an idea about this case that I thought we should imply. Imply? Is that the word? Employ. It would take spending money, though. Take what? Spending money.
Remind me. I have an idea to imply into this case, employ into this case, but it's going to require spending money. Officer Rob tells him it's going to require what? Spending money. Spending money from what? You're going to take money out of your pocket and pump it into the Mustafa Al-Jazari case? You know, Prosecutor Sara Sami in court during a Brady motion, multiple Brady motions were filed. Multiple Brady motions were moved forward by Judge Carol Weimer. Mustafa's statement is falsified by investigator Robert Drum. The vehicle is crushed and staged. Children have been weaponized. Prosecutor Sara Sami was terrified and was shaking in court. She was shaking. She was literally shaking. Like she's standing there like a chicken. I swear to God, like a chicken, like a wet chicken, like shaking. Telling the judge that she had no idea about any communication that took place. Well, I have multiple body cams that implicates you that you've been notified every step of the way. I have a discovery that show that you've been notified every step of the way. Why are you terrified? Prosecutor Sara Sami tells Judge Carol Weimer that it's dangerous to probe into the police officers and what they've done in this case. Is dangerous to release her communication with the police officer. Is dangerous that she's going to release her communication with the witnesses. Why is it dangerous? Is it going to show that you're instructing these officers to manipulate and destroy evidence, to manufacture and coach individuals to lie about Mustafa? Instruct officers on how to weaponize the children against Mustafa. And in the process, abuse a 9, a 10, a 14. Brady versus Maryland entails the defense to have access to the communication. Specifically, when it shows that you're dealing with witnesses, that you're dealing with evidence, that you're dealing with a case where there's a bias. I mean, immediately after the vehicle accident, officers show up and they openly talk to each other that they've been watching Mustafa. Mustafa had a $500,000 lawsuit against the police department. And these body cam show that the police have been watching Mustafa. Didn't like Mustafa. as soon as he gets in a vehicle accident, he's in a coma. And you have officers talk about, we've been briefed about him. Yes, he was suing you. He had $500,000 lawsuit against you. That you, the police, were taking advantage of a vehicle accident. It shows all through those body cams. There's a bias. There's a bias throughout every body cam that we watch in this case. Now, Judge Carol Weimer said that he's not allowing the communication to be released. Why not? Brady versus Maryland forces you to release the communication. Mustafa's defense is entitled to the communication. Now, this prosecutor wants to say, I don't know about any of the communication. That's not true. This is a body cam where Davis, immediately after he found brake failure, he notifies the prosecutor. Let's see. There's a body cam.
The other... Okay. Here and then push the whole front forward to get...
Prosecutor Sara Sami tells the judge she was not aware of any communication when it comes to the children, when it comes to weaponizing the children, when it comes to crushing and staging the vehicle, when it comes to Mustafa's statement falsified, when it comes to Mustafa's dash camera cut and muted by Officer Chad Mason, that this prosecutor has no communication, that she was never told, well, why am I looking at a body cam where Investigator Davis says, I notified her. I'm going to notify her. I've already notified her. What communication took between that prosecutor and this investigator about Mustafa's vehicle crushed and staged? About everything in this case. She wants to say she was never notified. By the way, she flat out lied to Judge Carol Weimer. Let's listen to this body cam.
Okay. Did you do anything inappropriate to it? This out of the way so that we can get the box out. Okay. Before we leave, let's call Sarah and tell her what we did and make sure before we put anything back for her. Actually, can you call her now? That way you can tell her what we've done and tell her that we looked at all the things on that receipt and then all the things that they replaced look like it's good and the steering still freely moves as it should, and see if there's anything she wants us to do before we take it down. I know, but I'd rather ask and have her say no.
Let's listen to that one more time. Prosecutor Sara Sami, by the way, Brady versus Maryland, entitles Mustafa's defense, Brad Haywood, to the communication. What they're doing here is that Judge Weimer says, I'm not going to allow the release of the communication. I mean, Prosecutor Sara Sami wants to tell him it's dangerous. I mean, let me paint the scenes for you. You have Mustafa's defense, Brad Haywood. You have the Prosecutor Sara Sami. You have Judge Carol Weimer. And right behind everybody is 10 individuals from Internal Affairs. I mean, let that number sink in. You have 10 Internal Affairs personnel all the way in the back. You have Captain Doodley, Brandon Doodley, who sits right behind the prosecutor, a captain in Internal Affairs. And this prosecutor gets up and says to the judge, Your Honor, is dangerous to release the communication. That Judge Carol Weimer flat out asked her, are you being intimidated by the police? I mean, look at the optics in the room. 10 Internal Affairs all the way in the back. You have a captain with Internal Affairs. And then after the court, Prosecutor Sara Sami, because Judge Weimer said, we're not going to release the communication. He blocked the communication from being released. Why not? Brady versus Maryland entails the defense to the communication, specifically when there's a bias, specifically when you're talking about manipulating evidence and crushing and destroying evidence, bringing in fabricated individuals to manufacture lies about Mustafa, kids weaponized in the process. The communication has to be released because this prosecutor is being notified every step of the way. She says, I wasn't aware, I don't know. So Judge Carol Weimer says, I'm blocking the release of the communication, and he's asking the prosecutor to go to Internal Affairs and gain access into the missing files, because we have evidence to show missing body cams from Mustafa's file. There's a separate file incriminating to the police body cams and documents and communication that's kept in a separate file. So now, Judge Carol Weimer ordered the prosecutor to go to Internal Affairs and have the police department release it to Brad Haywood. Now, wait a minute. You're asking the same prosecutor that's been lying about this case for the past 2.5 years that we have evidence that not only does she know, but she's instructing police officers on how to lie and falsify and destroy evidence. That she's going to go to Internal Affairs and you're going to trust that prosecutor to come up with the missing body cams? I mean, after court, this prosecutor is standing there with Internal Affairs and is laughing with Internal Affairs and is telling Internal Affairs there is nothing to release. I've already given the defense everything. There's nothing to release. Wait a minute. Internal Affairs is supposed to be telling you that, and you're supposed to be asking them for the missing files in the body cams, and they're supposed to be, but instead you're telling them that. It sure feels there is a whole lot of intimidation here. Absolutely, the police are terrified. You're talking about a police officer that's been there for 19 years, that you have evidence falsified this case. Multiple police officers, Investigator Robert Drum, Investigator Davis, Investigator Chad Mason, who already admitted to cutting and muting this dash camera. Children, Investigator Romero, weaponized the children, abused them in the process. And you're going to trust that prosecutor? Absolutely not. The only way that you can get to the bottom of what missing body cams is there and what actually took place in this case is through the communication. You're not going to sit there and trust a prosecutor who's, one, terrified from the police, two, has been lying about this whole entire case. Brady versus Maryland entitles Brad Haywood, the defense, to those communication. Now, we just listened to a body cam where Prosecutor Sara Sami flat out lied to Judge Carol Weimer. She said, I'm not aware of any communication. We just heard Davis say that he communicated and reached out to notified the Prosecutor Sara Sami, of what's going on. Now, I have a body cam where they found brake failure. This is a specific body cam where Investigator Davis found brake failure in Mustafa's car. And the prosecutor, we just got done hearing that he notified the prosecutor. Why is it that this prosecutor stand in court and tell a judge there is nothing wrong with Mustafa's car? Let's listen to, there we go.
Brake didn't engage.
Brake did not engage. Now, we're going to go back to the body cam where he's talking about notifying Prosecutor Sara Sami.
Before we leave, let's call Sarah and tell her what we did and make sure before we put anything back for her. Actually, can you call her now? That way you can tell her what we've done and Tell her that we looked at all the things on that receipt.
Okay, so he notified Sara Sami, Prosecutor Sara Sami. Now, there's an audio here from the court during a bond motion where Prosecutor Sara Sami tells the judge
this is not
tells the judge that there was nothing wrong with Mustafa's car. Let's see if I can find it.
Because he was surprised.
Is Mustafa
Okay, what I'm going to do, I'm going to post the audio. And this is an audio from the bond motion where Prosecutor Sara Sami tells the judge there's nothing wrong with Mustafa's vehicle. We just watched a body cam where they find brake failure. Mustafa has brake failure in his vehicle. The prosecutor gets notified, but she stands in court and says there's nothing wrong with my car. Forget all of that. During a Brady motion, this prosecutor is telling the judge that I was never notified about anything. I don't know anything about what the police are doing. This is a body cam where Davis said, I notified the prosecutor during a vehicle inspection. Now, I have another body cam where Investigator Davis just got done talking to the 16-year-old. Investigator Davis is not with the children forensic unit, but he calls the 16-year-old. And as soon as he got done talking to the 16-year-old, he calls Prosecutor Sara Sami. Wait a minute. This prosecutor is telling Judge Carol Weimer that I'm not aware of any communication with the children, that the only time the children were spoken to is inside the police department, inside the forensic interview. That's not true. Let's see if I can find it. If you go on YouTube, all right, let's do this together. If you go on YouTube, there's a playlist. Let's see. All right, if you type not another boring podcast. All right, the channel is going to come up and there should be a playlist. Let's see, there is a playlist. There we go, playlist. I love how everybody's like following how we're finding it. All right, there's a playlist, and the playlist is called Police Body Cam Mustafa Al-Jazari. We're going to wait for this ad.
He's the main chef of DB Kitchen.
All right.
Going back, he's the lead investigator.
We're going to pause this video. All right, so there is a lot of videos that are numbered exhibits. These are the body cams that I stole from Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, Prosecutor Sara Sami. How does it feel, Prosecutor Sara Sami, how does it feel to be the fuck up of the day? I mean, on your watch, I got to steal those body cams. And now when we go to court, it's beautiful. I'll tell you. I mean, the energy in a room is just, you walk in and we're all in the same sandbox. mind you, when you look up, you go into circuit court, there is a file that this prosecutor is compiling, a thick file. I got my hand on that file. She has so many pictures of everything that I've done on social media, on my YouTube channel, what I've said, what I wrote, what I talked about. She has like everything documented. She's building a case. I mean, you talk about profiling. They take profiling to a whole new level. There's a case about me in circuit court. They're building a whole file. I mean, they're finding out that it's ineffective. They've mechanized the court against me. They want me to shut down the channel and have me stop talking about the Mustafa Al-Jazari case, the Tatiana David case, the other cases that are coming out of this county. They want me to shut down the whole... They couldn't. They're unsuccessful at what they do. But they do have a case, a whole file. I mean, you know, the disturbing part is you've got this prosecutor, I kid you not, you walk into court and it's the same judge. She've held multiple sessions telling Judge Carol Weimer how of everything that I'm doing online. Releasing the body cams, releasing the document, and then every time when we do go to court, it's just we're all sitting there looking at each other. Hello, I'm here. The guy that you've been talking about and is attempting to get removed is here. I always have a giant smile on my face. I can't help it. I walk into court. They're in the Brady motion. I walk into court, and I guess I'm like one of the first people there. Mustafa's defense attorney didn't get there yet. You have Prosecutor Sara Sami, and you have her prosecutor. You have another prosecutor, Stephanie Buck. And let me just describe for you what Stephanie Buck looks like. Have you seen a beaver that's been working hard all day collecting wood, is trying to build a dam, and is so tired and exhausted, is literally confused, and is just looks like it's got a, you know, when you're driving at night and you got a deer and the deer is just looking at you in the middle of the road, that kind of look. But it's a beaver. Let's see if I can find a video. We'll come back to this video real quick, but we're just taking... I have to... There's an image in my head that you have to see, and I can't be the only person seeing this. Let's see if I can find it. Stephanie Buck. Let's see. There's a famous video where a beaver is screaming, Alan, 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 Alan!
Question for Steve. Huge fan, by the way.
Right,
how did you get the internet back up and running so quickly?
This is what Stephanie Bucks looks like.
Nice day today. I think I might... was that Alan?
Alan! Al! Alan!
Yeah, I don't think you can hear me, you know. Yeah.
Alan! 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 Al! Alan! 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 Alan!
Oh, so that's not Alan.
Now just picture this beaver all wet, has been working all day collecting wood, trying to build a dam, and is all confused. All right, so this is Stephanie Buck.
Steve, not Steve.
Steve! 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 Steve!
So I walk into court, and Prosecutor Sara Sami is standing there. Right next to her is what we just saw, Stephanie Buck. And there's two fat ladies that are hovering around Sara Sami. And now Sara Sami knows I'm there. Stephanie Buck knows I'm there. But those two fat assistants are confused. They don't know that I'm standing there. And when I tell you fat, they're really fat. They're really, like two fat white ladies. They're really fat. Like they literally look like diversity hires. You think that prosecutor is a diversity hire? Those two fat white ladies are diversity hire. And I think, I don't know what they put on the application. They probably put fat, white, lesbian. I don't know what they put. Like all the letters. They're diversity hire, 100%. I mean, if I wanted a lawyer, if they weren't like I would not hire them anywhere. Let's just put it like this. So they didn't know I was sitting there. And they're hovering around the Prosecutor Sara Sami, and they're like, oh, maybe they're not, maybe he's not going to show up. It's a Brady violation. He's got all the evidence that you falsified this whole entire case. You think Mustafa's defense attorney is not going to show up to a Brady violation? So they're just like two fat white prosecutor assistant. They're hovering around Sarah. Ooh, maybe he's not going to show up. Maybe. And then Sara Sami got so angry. The look on her face, like, fuck my life. You're embarrassing me. At this point, this is my team. The brother is right there. Let me describe what Sara Sami looks like. She's originally Persian. And by the way, when I originally saw this prosecutor 2.5 years ago, she used to look normal. She looked white. Just your average random white girl. But today, she looks really weird. She looks really weird. At one point, she gained a lot of weight, and now she's like so skinny, you can't even recognize her. She's got what it looks like short, she has a wig on, 100%, because when she turns around, there's like a bald spot in the back. So she has, I don't know what she's going through, to be honest with you. And she looks like a little boy. This prosecutor looks like a little boy. Now, she's originally Persian, but I don't know why she looks like a little skinny lesbian boy. And she's got this library outfit on with her like fake hair, bald spot in the back. I mean, it's weird. I tell you, it's weird. I don't know what she's going through, to be honest with you. But, I mean, if I was in her shoes, and then you look at her, I mean, here's the problem. I mean, flat chest, nothing there. Flat, completely flat. And her ass looks weird. She has a flat ass. But then if you look a little bit lower, it almost feels like there's a lump. And it almost feels like she's wearing an ass, but it's just sagging downward. It's weird. I kid you not. It's weird. I was so disturbed, distracted, and terrified at the same time. I'm like, fuck, this thing has a file on me. That's disgusting. I mean, the thing is obsessed. I kid you not. I swear to God, one day we're going to go over this file, and it has like 500 pictures of me in a file. What do you need 500 pictures of me when I'm talking about this podcast for? And she's got it filed in circuit court. It's disturbing. It is really disturbing. So, now that I got done painting a scene for you, let's go back to what she told the judge. I mean, ATM Brady violation were approved, and it went forward by Judge Carol Weimer. That Mustafa's statement is falsified. This vehicle is crushed and staged by the police. The children are weaponized against Mustafa, abused in the process. And now, Mustafa's dash camera is cut and muted by investigator Chad Mason. And that's all on the table now. That this prosecutor prevented the reconstruction of the vehicle 2.5 years ago. And now she's attempting to wash her hand from what the police have done. Why do you think there's 10 internal affair personnel in suits all the way in the back, making sure that the communication does not get released? I mean, as soon as the judge denied the communication to be released, they all got up and left. Interesting. They're terrified that their police officers, the communication is going to be released and is going to show what they've done in this case. There's an incriminating file that has not been body cams and documents that have not been released to Mustafa's attorney. Missing body cams and documents that show what they've done in this case. Incriminating to the police. They took those body cams and documents, put it in a separate file, and now they've been sitting on it. And now it's going to be released. Judge Carol Weimer denied the release of Sara Sami's communication because it's going to show what these police officers have done. As a matter of fact, she's terrified because she's complicit in. It's going to show that she's been notifying them on what to do to falsify this case. Now, she told the judge that she had no idea about what they said, what they've done. We just watched a body cam where Davis is telling his fellow police officer, Investigator Davis is telling Officer Rob that I notified the prosecutor. That's one body cam. Let's watch another body cam where as soon as he gets off, so if you go to YouTube, let's go back. Let's see. All right. There's a playlist. Specifically, this is exhibit. So I've got all the body cams. If you go on YouTube under Not Another Boring Podcast. Not another. Let me pause this. Under Not Another Boring Podcast, if you go on playlist body cams, police body cams, Mustafa Al-Jazari, I've got the body cams that I stole from Prosecutor Sara Sami, Commonwealth Amy Ashworth. This police department, I've leaked those body cams on the internet. And then I've numbered them as exhibits. Now, specifically, if you go to exhibit 48, 47, 48, and 47, a beginning of a conversation. Investigator Davis is speaking to 16-year-old Kylie Clapp. And then exhibit 48, the conversation picks up with Kylie Clapp. Now, what's relevant here is Sara Sami, Prosecutor Sara Sami says, I have no idea what they told the children, that the children were only spoken in a forensic interview. Well, this body cam says otherwise. Let's listen to the body cam.
There's a delivery driver in Roy and Riverdale getting a lot of attention tonight.
A pregnant woman landed on the right.
Him to come in, second, third, maybe he's like the 2.5 tight end.
Hello?
Hey, Kylie, it's Investigator Davis.
Okay, yeah.
Sorry, somebody had to speed by me in a school zone. So your mom's cell phone was a blue.
So Kylie Clapp is the 16-year-old, is Mustafa's girlfriend, daughter, her 16-year-old daughter. Kylie Clapp is, before Mustafa met Dorothy, let's give background so that way everybody knows. Because there's a comment on here that someone was asking, it sounds like that's his daughter. No, that's not Investigator Davis' daughter. Kylie Clapp is Mustafa's girlfriend's 16-year-old daughter. Now, before Mustafa met Dorothy, Mustafa and Dorothy's relationship is 3 months long. Mustafa knows Dorothy for 3 months. It's a new relationship. Dorothy, Mustafa's girlfriend, with her live a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 14-year-old. 16-year-old Kylie was separated by CPS before Mustafa met Dorothy. Is separated from her mother and lives with her dad, Jason Clapp. Now, what we're finding out through this whole entire case is that apparently Kylie, 16-year-old Kylie, her dad pierces all the strippers for Billy Bain Jr. out of Crystal City. There is a club owner out of Crystal City that her dad works for and pierces all the strippers. So you can imagine their relationship. That's a very deep relationship. To pierce all the strippers for a giant club owner, a strip club in Crystal City, that's a big relationship. Now, the reason that's relevant is because that club owner had one of the biggest problems with Mustafa before Mustafa met Dorothy. about a month and a half before Mustafa meets his girlfriend, Mustafa was promoting his business. He's got physical therapy equipment, and he's at a location. And that club, a 7-Eleven, and a Chinese restaurant share a public easement. It's a public space. And that club owner one day comes out breathing down Mustafa's neck. Now, this video went viral, and it clearly showed a racist white person being racist to a Mustafa that's working hard and making a living. Now, this video went viral. Over 9 million people at the time saw this video, and every video fragmented. Well, I mean, it went viral at the time. Everywhere. TikTok, Instagram, there's a whole entire post. You can look it up. Well, today, Mustafa is dating. Mustafa was in a relationship. I mean, it goes full circle. I mean, how is Kylie related? And apparently, I mean, Mustafa is dating a girl, and he doesn't know that this daughter, her dad, the club owner, I mean, there is a whole entire circle around Mustafa in the background. So now you have a vehicle accident. And the same person that went viral, I mean, at the time, the community started boycotting that club because he was racist. Our community doesn't stand for racism. You can imagine how much he hated Mustafa. Now you're telling me that her dad works for this guy, that it's a lot. So when we're watching this body cam, we see Investigator Davis, and what they're attempting to do in this case is bring in 16-year-old Kylie as a witness. I mean, a witness to what exactly? One, she didn't live in the apartment. She's separated by CPS. She lives with her dad. And in the forensic interview, that 16-year-old says, I was never there. Anything that I'm telling you, I didn't see it. But she's basically lying about Mustafa, making all kind of stories. That's who Kylie is. I mean, is there a motive for her to lie about Mustafa? Absolutely. Look at who she is, and look at who her dad is, and look at who is. I mean, in one of the audios that I have, she got online and says that she hangs out at that club with the strippers, the same strippers that began to attack Mustafa at the time when their boss went viral. That's interesting. I mean, you're going to make her the key witness, the star witness? I mean, the star witness for Prosecutor Sara Sami is her. And the reason they're terrified that the forensic interview are being released and the body cams are being released, because on body cams, these individuals are telling you, we were not there. We're just giving you a story. We're telling you, manufacturing a story. They say, we were not there. Anything that I'm telling you, we were not there. We didn't see it. We didn't hear it. But they're painting Mustafa as a negative person, as a horrible person, blah, blah, blah. And then they turn around and tell you, well, yeah, we were in there. That's Investigator Davis. All right, so let's listen to Investigator Davis talk to a minor, a 16-year-old. Now, he's not with child forensic unit. A children forensic unit is supposed to and is handling this case, these children. Investigator Romero. The prosecutor tells the judge that she had no idea what is being told. What Investigator Davis, what Investigator Romero, when they're lying to the children, when they're weaponizing, that this prosecutor doesn't know anything. Well, why is it? We're going to continue watching this body cam. Why is it that as soon as he gets off this phone, if you zoom in on his phone, you'll see that he's dialing and calling prosecutor, and it says Sara Sami. That's Prosecutor Sara Sami. You've got her phone number. How do you think I have her phone number? And what am I going to do with this phone number? You think I'm going to call that little Pakistani boy? No. This is evidence that this prosecutor is lying to Judge Carol Weimer. The reason I'm putting this on a podcast is because this is evidence that she lied. Brady versus Maryland entitles Mustafa's defense, Brad Haywood, to have the communication. What communication took place? What communication took place between Investigator Davis What communication took place? What did Investigator Davis tell Prosecutor Sara Sami? What did Sami tell Investigator Davis? What communication took place? Because clearly, throughout this whole entire case, I mean, these children are talking about being weaponized. Let's continue watching this body cam, and we're going to zoom in on Investigator Davis' phone and see that he is calling Prosecutor Sara Sami. I mean, Judge Carol Weimer, how do you feel about the prosecutor flat out lying to you in court? And if she's lying to you in court, how do you trust her? How do you deny her communication to be released, only to tell her, I trust you to go and find the missing body cams that are not in the file? Brady versus Maryland entitles Brad Haywood, Mustafa's defense attorney, to have those communication, to have those body cam. You can't trust a prosecutor that's been lying for the past 2.5 years, that she's going to go all of a sudden come out and give you what's missing? Absolutely not. Especially when she's lying to you in court. Let's continue watching that body cam.
iPhone 11, sparkly case, pop socket.
I'm pretty sure, yes.
All right, if I told you that we found a pink one, do you know who that would belong to?
A pink phone?
Yeah.
I mean, she bought phones all the time, so...
Oh, okay. So it's possible she had a pink one also?
Was there a pink one? The case was. A pink case or a pink phone?
I'm going to be honest, I don't know.
Okay, yeah.
Because I didn't see them.
Yeah, that's hers.
The pink one would also be hers?
Yeah.
Okay. Who was it you asked?
The neighbor.
Oh, okay. The neighbor.
Are you over in Foxlair now?
Tanisha Coleman is in the background.
No, we were...
Interesting. We have multiple body cams on Tanisha.
All right, would you know how to get into your mom's phones if I need to?
Huh?
Would you know how to get into your mom's phone?
I could try, but
you're not 100%?
I could try, but I'm not 100%.
Okay. All right. Okay. We're just trying to figure out whose phones were whose. All right. So yeah, here's what I'll do. I'm gonna call the victim witness people and see if I can put you in touch with them, and then they see if they'll be the ones to keep you updated as to court proceedings. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. And if I have any questions about the phones, I'll give you a call back. The victim witness people and see if I can put you in touch with them, and then they see if they'll be the ones to keep you updated as to court proceedings. Okay?
Yeah.
All right. So let's see who he's gonna call after he gets off with Tanisha Coleman. And a couple of things. Now, if you pay attention to this body cam is April 11. April 11, 2023. The accident happened April 5th, and this body cam is April 11. Now, what's unique about what is going on with Kylie is at the hospital. She's on the phone on speed dial with investigator Davis, but she doesn't walk into the forensic interview until September. Now, in the forensic interview, she says that she was actually there in the forensic interview, that she went to the forensic interview. Because the children, a 9, a 10, a 14, we have forensic interviews from 2 days into the vehicle accident. We have those forensic interviews. But where is Kylie Clapp's forensic interview with the rest of the children? Now, that interview has been removed, only for them to redo it in September. Basically, coach her to what she has to say. And then walk her into a forensic interview in September, and she still fucked it up. When you watch that forensic interview, it shows that she's fed a story. She's lying about Mustafa. I mean, at one point, she's describing Mustafa as a negative person so much that he's even described him as a unicorn with horns and has a bunch of wings, and he can fly. You have to watch that forensic interview. Kylie against Kylie. Kylie contradict Kylie. Kylie contradict everything that she says. 1 minute she says this, another minute she says that. 1 minute she says Mustafa does this, 1 minute she says Mustafa does. There's holes throughout the whole thing. I mean, clearly you can tell that 16-year-old is lying about Mustafa. It's fed a story. And this little girl is so dumb. What she tell in the forensic interview, she still fucked it up. She says, yeah, anything I'm telling you, I wasn't there for it. I didn't see it or hear it. What are you talking about? By the way, that's the star witness. Sara Sami, Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, that's her star witness, who on a forensic interview on body cam says, I wasn't there for any of it. I'm simply manufacturing and lying to you about Mustafa. Why do you think they're so terrified that these body cams are being released? Because it's incriminating. Incriminating to the police. It shows that these individuals are brought in only to lie about Mustafa, that the prosecutor and the police officers allowed individuals to manufacture probable cause and lie. I mean, in this body cam, when you listen to, he asked her, who's in the back? Oh, the neighbor. Oh, Tanisha Coleman. Who's Tanisha Coleman? Tanisha Coleman with the police, with Kylie, with the ex-boyfriend Glenn Ford, with Evelyn Horton, with the wife of the investigator, Robert Drum, Stephanie Claiborne Drum, is weaponizing the children against Mustafa. And in the process, abusing children. That's child abuse. Mustafa loved those children. We have the Google Nest videos, and I'm going to end this podcast with the Google Nest videos. That shows the children love Mustafa. Mustafa was a father figure in their life. I mean, their father wasn't there. Where's Devon Jones? Devon Jones wasn't there. And Mustafa meets Dorothy. He takes on a father role in their life. And you can see that through the Google Nest videos. You don't have to take my word for it. Let's continue watching this body cam, and let's zoom in on Davis' cell phone and see if he's calling the prosecutor. I mean, she wants to tell the judge that she doesn't know, that the children were only talked to in a forensic interview. That's flat out lying to Judge Carol Weimer. We have a body cam where Davis, investigator Davis, is speaking to a child, a 16-year-old, before the forensic interview. The children in the forensic interview tell you that they talked and coached and lied to us. Let's see who he zooms in and who he tells. Let's see if this prosecutor is lying to Judge Carol Weimer.
And if I have any questions about the phones, I'll give you a call back.
Okay.
All right?
Thank you.
Anything else?
No, that's all I can think of right now.
Okay. All right. I appreciate it. Thanks, Kylie.
Hey, you're welcome.
All right. Bye.
you don't have to see much of, maybe just a game or two. Right now, at 12:12 on the B. Mitch and Finley show, do not spend a draft pick on a day 2, day 3 quarterback. Let's find another linebacker. Your call has been forwarded to an...
Oh, there we go. Oh, there we go. What does that say right there? Sarah. I've got Davis calling you and notifying you after he talked to a child outside the forensic interview. So, what did you guys talk about? I think Mustafa is entitled to that communication. Wouldn't you agree, Sarah?
Do not wait to draft pick.
Let's see if we can rewind a little bit more.
You don't have to
Oh,
see much
there we
of,
go.
maybe just a game or
Text
two.
communications.
Right now, at 12:12 on the B. Mitch and Finley
Text communications.
show with Scott Jackson steps in for JP on April 11th, Tuesday. I'm going to say, do not wait to draft pick on 11th, Tuesday.
Oh, there we go.
Say, do not step in for JP on April 11th, Tuesday. I'm going to say,
Interesting, Sarah. Sarah, what is this? What did you guys talk about, Sarah? Brady versus Maryland. Brady versus Maryland. I mean, Prosecutor Sara Sami, you have a law degree. Are you not familiar with Brady versus Maryland? I mean, how did you get your law degree? Did you get it on your knee? And if you did, God help that person that got you on your knee. You look like a little, skinny, Pakistani, bald, lesbian boy. I mean, Judge Carol Weimer, presiding judge, Judge Carol Weimer, is it worth it? Having this community look at you as complicit with what this prosecutor has got going on? I mean, clearly, she's in cahoots with these police officers. She's being updated every step of the way. And if you didn't get the joke, what I'm implying is Judge Carol Weimer has Prosecutor Sara Sami on her knees. It's not worth it, Judge Carol Weimer. It's not worth it, sir. That little thing is not worth it. That thing is disgusting. You can do much better, sir. You can do a lot better. I don't know what happened. I don't want to know what happened, but I'm just telling you, you can do much better, sir. Clearly, this prosecutor, Prosecutor Sara Sami, has a lot going on. And we're going to get to the bottom of it. Sarah! Prosecutor Sara Sami. We're going to get to the bottom of it. Mustafa's defense attorney, Brad Haywood, is entitled to your communication. Clearly, you lied to Judge Carol Weimer. You are being notified every step of the way. I mean, wait until I go through the discovery. I'm going through body cams. We're going to go through the discovery. And the problem here is this prosecutor is watching this take place. Children that are weaponized against Mustafa. Children. I mean, in this forensic interview, she's terrified that I got my hand on the forensic interview. I mean, you would think that the prosecutor is terrified that I have the forensic interview to protect the children, protect the individuals involved in this case. Well, look at what we're looking at. You're being notified every step of the way that police officers are weaponizing children against Mustafa. In the process, abusing these children. A 9, a 10, a 14. Abuse those children. Children that needed Mustafa in their most vulnerable state. Look at what they're doing to this child. This is 14-year-old Javen. And look what he tells the forensic psychologist. Look at what he tells her in the forensic interview. He tells her that the police told me that Mustafa ran away, killed my mother on purpose, ran away. And if he didn't run away, they could have saved my 5-year-old baby sister. He ran away and left her to bleed to death. Mustafa was in a coma. The police lied to this child. Mustafa was in a coma. He was helicoptered to the hospital. And when he woke up in the hospital, all he did is ask about his family. Where's my girlfriend? Where's 5-year-old Empress? When he got out of the hospital, the first thing he did is went to check on the children and make sure the children are okay. But you have Mustafa in a coma, and you have investigator Romero is weaponizing this child when they needed Mustafa. And this prosecutor not only is notified, is partake in telling these police officers what to do to have these kids weaponized against Mustafa. Why do you think she's so terrified that this is being released? Because when I sit here and tell you about this, it's difficult to believe without having evidence. But I have the forensic interview, and we're going to watch it together. Listen to what this child is telling you. He's telling you, investigator told me that Mustafa ran away, left my 5-year-old baby sister to bleed to death. Now, would you be okay if this was your child? You're in a coma. You just got out of an accident. And the details show that you did everything you can to avoid a vehicle accident. You're in a coma. And police are weaponizing children. Why? Because Mustafa sued the police. He had a lawsuit against the police. Because who's dead is a white girl and it's a Mustafa that lived. I mean, you know how terrifying that is? You know how racist that is? This is the definition of racism. Mustafa did everything he can to avoid a vehicle accident. This is a vehicle accident. You crush and stage the car. You cut and mute the dash camera. You falsify his statements. And now you're weaponizing children? Abusing children in the process. Whatever it takes. These children, according to the police and according to Prosecutor Sara Sami, is collateral damage. Listen to what this child is talking about. Why do you think this prosecutor is so terrified that her communication is going to get released? Let's listen.
When they got into the car crash, the detective said he jumped out and ran, left my baby sitting there.
The detective said he immediately jumped out and ran. Which detective? In the discovery says that investigator Romero, the children forensic unit, is the one that handled the children before they were walked into the forensic interview. We just watched investigator Davis, who's not with the children forensic interview, on speed dial with the 16-year-old.
And if he just thought to bring her to the hospital, maybe she would have made it, but she didn't because he decided to be a coward, and now she's gone. And now all I have is my 2 brothers. She was the sweetest. You would never even heard her fly. She was citizen too. 25.
Where are the body cams when investigator Romero, Prosecutor Sara Sami stood in court during a Brady motion and lied to Judge Carol Weimer and told him the children were only spoken to during the forensic interview. Clearly, this child is talking about other conversation that investigator Romero and the police had with the children. Where are the body cam when you handled and dealt with a 9-year-old, a 10-year-old, a 14-year-old, and a 16-year-old? Where are those body cams? Or demanding those this is exculpatory evidence, especially when you're talking about children that are weaponized, and now they are attempting to use these children against Mustafa. Why do you think this prosecutor is so terrified? They're terrified because now what's coming out is not only this interview, is that there is Google Nest videos. Google Nest videos, if you go on YouTube, we've released some of the Google Nest videos. You see here, let's see if I can find it. These are Google Nest videos from inside the apartment that shows the children loved Mustafa. That the police weaponized these children against Mustafa. Brady versus Maryland entitles the defense to the communication of Prosecutor Sara Sami. We're going to need those communications that you had with Investigator Davis we're going to need the communication that you had with investigator Chad Mason. Investigator Chad Mason, who's admitted to cutting and muting the dash camera. Wait a minute, for 2.5 years, they've been telling us there is no audio, that this dash camera cuts before impact. Now you're talking about an investigator that's openly admitting to the presiding judge that, yes, he cut and muted this dash camera. That Officer Zymus with digital forensic admit that it does have audio. We're going to get that audio from the dash camera. We're going to get this vehicle reconstructed. We're going to get the original Pharaoh scan when investigator Robert Drum scanned the vehicle. We're going to take that scan and we're going to give it to the independent expert who's going to be reconstructing the vehicle, because major things are happening in this case. Mustafa's vehicle, Judge Carol Weimer approved that this vehicle get reconstructed. And not only approved that they get this vehicle reconstructed, they brought in another judge. And, well, we'll leave that to another conversation. But I want to leave you with, we're getting the audio from the dash camera. We're getting the rest of the dash camera before Chad Mason cut and muted this dash camera. There's an SD card where an independent expert is going to download the original files, get the full dash camera, the audio and the full dash camera. They've been lying to this community for 2.5 years. Mustafa's coming home, and Mustafa is holding on, and he's staying strong. We're going to get the audio. We're going to get the full dash camera. We're going to get this vehicle reconstructed. We're going to get the communication of this prosecutor. We're demanding the release of this communication. There is no way. They can't run. They're backed against the wall. By law, they have to release this communication. We're not asking for any favors. We want due process. We're asking for due process in this case. Details show that this is a car accident. We're not asking for any favors. This is the most basic thing that you can ask in this case. Reconstruct the car. Reconstruct this vehicle accident. Get the SD cards from this dash camera that you, the police department, says there is audio. And you, the police officer, said you cut and muted the dash camera. And a case out of the Supreme Court entitles Mustafa's defense, Brad Hayward, to have the communication between the prosecutor, the police officers involved, and the witnesses. Specifically, when you're talking about bias, all over this case, they've been targeting Mustafa. As soon as officers show up on scene, we've been briefed about him. Well, yeah, no shit, Sherlock. He has a lawsuit against you. And it shows all through this whole entire case. There's a bias. They're destroying and attempting to manipulate evidence. Now the prosecutor thinks she can just wash her hand out of, throw her police officer under the bus. Chad Mason, Robert Drum, Investigator Davis, Investigator Romero. How do you feel about Prosecutor Sara Sami? I mean, I wish you were there in court, but I'll tell you, she's washing her hand from you guys. Literally washing her hands. I mean, how do you explain when she says, I wasn't aware of what they said to each other and what they've done here and there? Prosecutor Sara Sami, you think you can wash your hand? I've got you by the balls, lady, and there's nothing there. I've got your file, I've got your body cams, and I'm actively releasing everything on the internet. You can't shut down my channel. You tried. I'll give you a pat on the back. That was good. But I guess that was before you realized that being a paralegal, I took your lawyers, I put them on the stand, and I cross-examined them for 5 hours out of a 6-hour proceeding. And on the second court, did the same thing. kept on hitting them like a piñata with questions until they cracked like a piñata in front of the judge. So the court system, you mechanized it against me. It's unsuccessful. I'm still here. And we're going to keep asking that you are held accountable. Prosecutor Sara Sami. I'm going to remind you, I mean, you were shaking in court when Judge Carol Weimer, the presiding judge, told you there will be consequences. You were shaking. I remind you that maybe Commonwealth Amy Ashworth, because she's an elected official, is to a certain extent may be immune. But you're not. Sarah, you're not immune. You're going to be held accountable by law. All you can do is buy time. Mustafa is staying strong. We, the family on the outside, are staying strong. And we're going to make sure that you are held accountable by law. You and your police officer and anybody involved in this case. On that note, I want to leave you with a Google Nest videos from inside the apartment that you see Mustafa, his girlfriend Dorothy, and the children. And one of them is the child that you just saw in the forensic interview that tell you, they told me, they lied to me, they told me that Mustafa ran away, left my 5-year-old baby sister to bleed to death while Mustafa was in a coma. They lied to that child. You're going to see a Google Nest video that shows Mustafa and the children and his girlfriend are playing water gun, and they're just being a family. The prosecution is terrified that we got our hand on the Google Nest videos inside the apartment that really shows what kind of relationship it is. That they can't lie about the relationship anymore. Thank you for being here. Make sure that you share the video. Share the video. Hit the like button. Leave a comment. Ask me a question for my next podcast. And support the podcast through the Cash App. On that note, I want to thank you for being here. This is not another boring podcast. Mustafa, through the police. Body cam, Judge Carol Weimer. You're under the microscope.
Lumen came to us and with the clear need that we have to connect Gen AI customers. We based
Oh shit! Shimmy! Ow! My skin! Ow! I can't. Got my head on the top of his head.
Are you done?
Yeah.
Oh, that's not. No more?
Yeah, one more.
Oh, he's doing the NLE chocolate. He's doing it. NBA never broke again. NBA young boy.
JB guy. Hey, look at him. He's 30.
Oh, your hand. Oh, I can break your hands. I don't want to be tough. I don't want to be strong with you, man. Hey, listen, man. We gotta stop horse playing. Where they at? He's like, give me some more when I'm thirsty.
Oh, do that shit in my face.
Exactly.
Baga.
Listen up, stop.
Stop!
Stop before I smack you with this water gun.
Stop!
Are you done fucking around?
God damn it, man.
You got me wet.
Shit! Mom!
Let go of the bed.
Everybody push the door open. This is what he gets for doing what he's doing to my mom. Oh shit!
He got me. He got me. He got me. He got me. Look at him. Look at him.
Sean, that's a great idea, actually.
Damn. He's trying to get the whole gallon. Back up. Back.
No, Sean, that's fuck.
Oh, his head got stuck. All right, no more horse playing. You guys, somebody's gonna get hurt. Somebody's gonna get hurt. Stop, stop. What are you doing with that? That's not water. That's not water. That's soda. All right, are you guys gonna stop?
Yeah. Yeah.
No, that's not water. That's soda. That's soda. That's not water.
Pour water over me.
That's not. What the fuck? Water. No, that's soda.
King. That's crazy. Wait, let me help you. Come here, come here. No, right there. Okay. Right now. There you go.
Fat chicken nugget.
Hey, bro, I swear.
That's not. That's not.
I'm on your team. I'm on your team.
No, you're not. You're lying. That's scary.
I'm not lying. You're lying. Wait, why are you shooting me? What do you mean? I'm done. I'm done. That's it, son. Get him.
I'm not making money. I gotta go make some money. Like, can you stop like crying? Shut.
What's wrong?
Huh?
You just telling someone, can you stop?
It's like, imagine just wakes up and all he's doing is just like bullshitting and crying.
What are you talking about now?
He doesn't want to stay home.
Well, I don't care.
And he doesn't want to.
You're not bringing the whole fucking family to drive around all day. That's not what the fuck people do.
Like shit. Javen, walk the dog.
In a cell, no trial, no voice. Truth buried deep, but we ain't got no choice. They tried to erase him, break him apart, but we scream free Mustafa. From the soul, from the heart. They falsified the paper, twisted every word, turned a car crash to murder, like justice never heard. Dorothy and Empress, angels in the sky. Now they blame a broken man while the real ones lie. A badge and a pen, that's all it took. Signed his fate with a false report and a dirty look.
Wherever the fuck is on the other side. Wherever the fuck that guy goes. Follow him.
And again, scream Mustafa, loud through the chains. Justice corrupted, drowning in pain. From the cell block to the street, we'll never stop till the walls fall down innocent fly. Amy Ashworth, playing judge and the jury in a county so dirty, soaked in fury. Police and the courts all in on the plot. They framed an innocent man and left his soul to rot. But his family's out marching, banners held high, while supporters flood timelines, refusing to lie. They want silence, we give them the storm. Truth blazing through like justice reborn. Every post, every chant, every sleepless night is a spark in the dark that's ready to ignite. This ain't just a song, it's a battle cry for every soul locked up while the guilty lie. We free Mustafa, loud through the chains. Justice corrupted, drowning in pain. From the cell block to the street, we'll never stop till the walls fall down and the charges drop. Free Mustafa, it's more than a name, it's a movement, a mission, exposing the game to Trump and Cash. Hear our cry, bring the truth to light, let the innocent fly. 2 years too long.